Welcome to the Miracles and Wellness Podcast. My name is Clarissa Booker, and I'm your life and wellness coach, and also a beauty expert. I am so happy and grateful that you are here. We'll be discussing all things health and wellness, feeling empowered, and loving yourself more while connecting your mind, body, and spirit. Always know that you can manifest whatever you desire for your greater well-being in your life, because I believe that miracles are for everyone. Hey friends, how are you doing today? Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Now, today we're going to talk a little bit about sleep. Because I know sometimes we just feel really exhausted and we just feel do you ever feel like you just need just a little bit more, right? Just a little bit more sleep. And I feel like that sometimes. So I try to implement like good sleep hygiene or just some good sleep rituals every day. I mean, like sometimes I fall off, but I've gotten a lot better with that. And you can perform better, all the things, right? And you're more present. It's just all around affects a big component of your life. It's all linked in living a healthier lifestyle when you think about it, because the lack of sleep, it can take you to another place. Sometimes you can be groggy, you can start snapping on people. You ever just feel like so tired and you're just like, oh man, I just can't do this right now. And so that's linked to sleep too. And so a lot of times when we're under stress or we feel anxiety, that trickles into giving us insomnia. And so we're just going to talk a little bit about that and just trying to be committed to feeling good, just all around feeling better, our well-being, just giving it to the highest place we can be, right? And thinking of sleep as being a spiritual practice, all right? Because we have the ability to change and transform our sleep patterns. We just got to just put in just a little bit more effort, right? And just get that habit going. Because it can affect your personal, your emotional, your mental health, and your spiritual condition. I mean, sleep is pretty powerful. I mean, sometimes people don't think about it. Like you'd be like, oh, I need more sleep. But to actually think about like a sleep practice, like we have a mindfulness practice, a meditation practice. We have our workout routines. Sleep should be contributed into that as well, okay? So, for instance, with everything happening right now, there's just so many things. Right now, it's 2021. Now, we had Corona last year. It's still going on. And then over the summer, people got more relaxed, and now it's heightened again. That's stressful. I mean, all of this going on right now is trauma. Because it's just so it can just affect you in so many ways, right? All the people we're losing. I mean, it can take a toll on you. And then the news, just all the things, right? So if you do suffer from insomnia, I pray that this episode helps you, okay? A great deal. And that you're able to pick up some new tools and just something to add into your routine to help you sleep better, more peacefully, okay? I mean, do you ever fall asleep watching TV or working or anything like that? Then you might wake up later and you're just so restless you can't get back to sleep. I've done that. I try to be more mindful of that now. Like on my phone, I have it set a sleep timer on my phone that turns off so that it can start my wind down hour. Okay. So to just try to break out of those reckless sleeping patterns and that I would have. So it goes off just to cue me, just to be like, okay, just time. Because I'll just be doing all kinds of things. You never know, and so it'll help me just start getting into that mode of just relaxing and just doing whatever ritual I'm doing, right? So a lot of times we have this disrupted sleep, it's because we have something on our mind. And sometimes whenever you are doing something, like say you're watching the news, for example, and the news isn't exactly the most peaceful thing, right? So you might be thinking about that and taking those thoughts with you to bed, and it might be keeping you up, and so we don't really think about that sometimes. You're just watching something and then you just can't figure out why you're so restless, because that's in your subconscious, that's in your mind then, and you're taking that to bed with you. So that's a lot of times it might be sleep and stress related. But, of course, there are other medical conditions like sleep apnea, or, you have difficulty breathing. You have breathing issues that might affect your sleep. And some of those will need other medical care. But there's also the psychological reasons that keep us from having good sleep, and anxiety being so big. Because I used to be super stressed out and anxious sometimes because I was always working. I was always like a high achiever and just like pushing myself. I got a lot better, okay? Because I was just getting migraines and all these things. Has this happened to you? Have you ever just felt like you're just pushing yourself so much that you just have headaches or just like an ailment, like this pain, and you can't figure out where it's coming from? You're like, I'm pretty healthy, but like, why do I feel this way? Sometimes it's stress or anxiety. Like I'm in an area in a bigger city where people are go, 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 and you're just always running. And so it's like the norm, right? So people are like, stress, what stress? It's like a badge of honor. But no, it's a badge of honor until something starts happening to your heart. So it's good to kind of nip that in the bud right now, right? So a lot of that, it will be anxiety and stress. It could just trigger that insomnia because you have so much on your plate. You have so much going on that it's affecting your sleep, or just working like crazy hours, or like working on a project, or just all these shifts, just all the things that we do, and it affects your sleep so much. And then it just becomes a vicious cycle. And so the anxiety and the stress is in relation to the insomnia and other sleep issues. And then that's a lack of sleep increases more stress and anxiety. The stress and your anxiety, it just winds up being like this cycle, you just keep going and going and going. Then you're just like, oh my goodness, like what's happening to me, Then you might get irritable, short temper and this happens, you could be the sweetest person in the world, right? But because you might not be getting sleep, this will start triggering you, Then, you sit there and you might snap at your family, your spouse, your children, just any of the things, but it's because you just need that extra time, So sometimes sleep is like neglected, but it's so important. Just think about how good you feel when you just wake up sometimes and you had a good night's sleep. You can take on the world, right? You just can't. And so you wind up feeling so much better. Where in the reverse, if you're going through this lack of sleep cycle, so to speak, you lack the motivation to do whatever it is. Like, for example, you want to work on your cholesterol, for example, or your blood pressure. And so you have this whole goal and this whole idea of what you want to do, and you have written down that you want to accomplish, but you're lacking the motivation, and you're feeling really irritable and you can't concentrate. So you don't want to do the things it takes to get it done, right? You don't want to do the work because you always got to do the work, whatever it is, even to manifest your greatest desires that God is going to give you, but you have to do the work. You can't just be like, I'm going to do this prayer and I'm just going to sit right here. Okay, God, bring it to me. No, you got to get up. You got to do something about it, right? Because he cannot work like that. He is open for you to receive it if you're ready to receive, but that also requires you to take action. So we need to get this sleep in because your whole cycle is just going to be off because you're not sleeping, right? So if you have 4 months where you haven't slept, you're not going to be in the best place, right? You're not going to be in the best place. You're not going to be in your happy place. You're just not. And so if you are feeling this stress and anxiety, let's say just for the sake of today, that's where it's coming from. It's just harder for your nervous system to wind down because you're so wired, right? Just like overstimulation from like if you're having caffeine or blue light, watching too much TV, being on your phone, right? All of these things, going through menopause because you're getting so hot. This may make you feel uncomfortable when you're sleeping. And according to studies, you do need ideally 7 hours of sleep, which is going to be different for everybody because we're all unique individuals. But it's recommended to try to at least get 7, because sometimes you're running around on 4 hours of sleep and you're exhausted, so trying to at least shoot for that would be great. Okay. Or sometimes you're like, I'm trying to get my 7 hours of sleep, but I had to get up. I had to go to the bathroom or this happened. And then you couldn't get back to sleep because you was really restless. So our anxiety that is in our consciousness or unconsciousness, it doesn't really matter. It can affect us in the middle of the night because when we go down the rest, that's when the subconscious can start to get going and just take off, right? So it can be disrupted when we're trying to sleep or in the middle of the night. It could just, if you get up and you go to the bathroom, you try to go lay back down, boom, it's like there, right? So maybe you had something on your mind that you kind of thought you dealt with, or you didn't deal with. You just decided not to think about it, or you decided to like brush it under the rug kind of thing. And it just starts spewing there because you didn't really deal with it. The emotions and everything is still there. The emotions are still in there. So you need to work through them. A lot of times people don't want to work through things, right? And so they're just always sitting there, just kind of waiting around for you. You're like, here, I'm over here. And then something else happens, then that gets on top of that. And it just becomes a trickle effect of different things that's just manifesting in your body, right? This is one of the reasons meditation is so good. It absolutely helps release any habitual patterns or any stress, because it reaches your subconscious. But one thing it's good for you to do is acknowledge the stress and the anxiety that's going on in your life. Sometimes we don't want to acknowledge it, or we just think it's normal. Or sometimes you're just used to being in a certain environment all the time that you think that's the way it's supposed to be, and just first acknowledging that. Because sometimes you don't even notice it when you're moving about your day because you're just carrying it around with you. You're just carrying that stress, carrying that anxiety, carrying all those emotions. Like sometimes you feel like you just got to be busy like all the time. Like you guys got to be go, go, go. And you don't know how to relax. Or it might be that you drown yourself in your work. Or you just have to always be doing something, right? And it's because that those feelings that are there, you're being busy and keeping that going so that you don't really have to address them as much. But the moment you settle down and you start to regulate and relax, that's when those stressors can really become present, right? And then it might be that you're not actually sitting down until it's time to go to sleep, right? And so there they are. All that stress just sitting right there waiting for you. And now you can't sleep because it's like, are you going to address me? I'm just going to sit here and hang out. Okay. You can try to sleep if you want to, but I'm still going to be here type of thing, So that it might be in your jaw, you might grit your teeth. You might have pain in your body, just all these different things where the stress and anxiety is just kind of living. Your mind and your body are so connected, so connected. Your body keeps the score. It really does, So let's talk about some ways that we can try to help us sleep better, right? And try to get us some better sleep habits, which we want, right? You just feel so good after sleeping good. A good night's sleep. But treating sleep like a spiritual practice, like your mindfulness practice, your meditation practice, your yoga practice. Let's put sleep in that category, right? To make sure that we just put it in there. That's part of that lifestyle that we want to implement. We don't want to ignore the sleep. So if you have to cut out time of something, you can write it down and just look at your schedule and figure out how you can try to get down a little faster, right? Well, not faster, but, so that you can have the time added in there for your sleep. Like, do you need to rearrange something? Like what's of more importance? Because your health should definitely be important. The saying health is wealth. You have everything else going on for you in your life. But if your health is not there, then you really have nothing. You don't. Because that is what's going to keep you going. And you have to love yourself enough for that. Then you have family who loves you, and so we got to make ourselves a priority. And sometimes we put ourselves last and put everybody else before us. And so we just have to try to do that because you're so deserving of it. So deserving. So while we are trying to avoid our stress during the day, we're going to work on trying to let that rest at night. Okay. So the first thing we can do is our phone. Okay. What are we going to do without our phone? It's like attached to our hip half the time, right? So just trying to turn it off. Like I said, I have like something on my phone. It's like a little sleep timer. And all the devices are like linked. So just taking an hour, right, before bed, turning off your phone, just getting all your electronics together and kind of just turning them off or putting them away somewhere. Trying to put your phone in another room, just so you can start getting into that transition of, okay, it's time to relax. Because that phone can get you going. You're wired, the light. And then depending on what you're doing, that might add to your stress. Okay. You might read an email you don't like. You might see something. You might see a picture. You might get a call, a message, just all those things, right? And it can affect you in so many ways. So just putting your phone in another room, the living room, the bathroom, just somewhere else that it's not there, and turning it off so you don't hear it ring. Okay. Unless it automatically does that for you, then you don't have to worry about it. But still just trying not to have it in the room, because you could just kind of like look over at your phone, be like, let me just check this one little thing. And then you'll be up again. Okay. So, TV off, electronics off, your computer, put your computer away, no working in the bed, because it just puts you in a different mindset. Your brain is wired differently when you're working. So laptop away, the texting and all of that stuff. Just try to this is my time. This is my time right now. And I'm just not going to worry about any of the things. I'm just going to sit there and take this time to figure out what I need to do for myself, to just get this all out and just try and winding down. I have not personally tried blue light glasses, but I hear they are amazing. Even on your phones, you can have your phone or something set where the light changes down to that. So your eyes start, just seeing more down. Also try not to eat about 3 hours before you go to bed, so your digestion is settled. That's also going back to your gut health, because sometimes you might get heartburn, indigestion, depending on what you ate. And so just making sure everything's nice and settled and your food's fully digested. And that will definitely benefit you. And gut health, the culprit in a lot of things. So you got your gut health and you got your sleep. So trying to just let your body reset, right? Just trying to give yourself a couple of hours, Be like, I'm not going to eat past 7. I'm not going to eat past 8 p.m., say you say 7 p.m. or something like that, and so you're good. Have some tea, and don't eat until the next day. Giving your body time to rest. If you want to consider that an intermittent fast, stopping at 7 p.m. and not eating until the next morning at 8, you could do it. You could say that's what you're doing, just helping your body regulate itself, and also sitting there and watching the news or just having a really heated discussion before you go to bed. Okay, this will keep you up. Or, because you might be thinking about it. You might be like, I'm done with this. But then it's on your mind, So maybe an hour before, trying your best not to have a heated discussion. Sometimes it can happen, but things you can't avoid, like the news or certain programs, ideally. But it would be nice if we did just say we're going to try to cut all the devices off an hour before. So maybe you and your spouse, per se, not having any big talks, so to speak, right before you go to bed. Something more general, casual, things of that nature, so that it's not a heated discussion that's going to keep you up or that you're going to be thinking about it. Try doing something like that earlier in the day, if possible. And I know everybody's schedule is different. So these are just general guidelines that you could try to implement to the best of your ability and just choose whatever works for you, because we all have different lives. Sometimes people work different shifts, but just trying to find a way to get the most sleep. It's definitely beneficial, okay? Drinking alcohol. It might appear that it's making you fall asleep, but in all actuality, if you're above a certain age, it's not exactly the best for you with your sleeping. In the long run, it's not going to help your sleep because your body's going to be off. Just like you wake up, let's say you were drinking and you wake up, you don't feel energized, all that has to work through your system. So instead of that, switch to tea, Tea is good for your digestion and it can be very relaxing, So like some chamomile tea is good, some mint tea, it's soothing and that's a lot better option, just try that. It's very enjoyable too. Supplements like magnesium, essential oils. So you could have your chamomile tea with your lavender in the background or just taking a nice bath with some Epsom salts or just different kinds of salts. And that's really good at also bringing the toxins out of your body. Super relaxing. And then there's I think there's even magnesium tea. I haven't had magnesium tea, but they do have supplements. Just don't take too much of it. And just knowing what you find relaxing or knowing what that is for you, being aware of that. Like, do you like the music? Okay. Like a sound machine, the little noise machines that they have, it drowns out outside noise. Do you like waterfalls? Just all these different things. You could add this just to help put them on and to help soothe you. And also, if you do have menopause or you're just a hotter person in general, you can get the little chill pads to put underneath, and it will help you keep your body temperature down so that you feel more relaxed, so that it's like gives you a nice cooling effect. There's one called, I believe it was a chili oller, and it'll just help with regulating your temperature. But a lot of times when we go to sleep, our temperature does drop. So it's like a mattress pad that you can put on the bed, and it really does help, okay? And it just kind of keeps you cool throughout the night. So if you're having any hormonal changes, you might want to try one of those, and it'll really help you. And just like we start our day with what we're grateful for, you always can end like that. Just give it to God and just pray, thanking Him from getting you through the day, thanking Him from taking care of you and your family, just giving Him that thanks, or the universe, whatever it is that you believe in. But I do talk about God because I believe in God. So whatever this is for you, thank Him for watching over all of you guys. And you also could do a meditation beforehand, maybe before the hour when your phone is off, or something like that. And there's also a type of meditation you could do where it's a sequence where you could get paper and just write out everything that you went through for that day. Whether you were stressed out, whether you were angry, just all those things, and write that and just kind of journal it out. Just get it all out, regardless of whatever it is. And then just sit there and listen to some meditation music. And then you can meditate and you just get it all out so you don't take it to bed with you, So it's like you're just surrendering all your stress away. You thank God for just getting you through the day. You turned it all over to Him. You just kind of surrendered, just doing the meditation and just writing it all out so that you are just going to bed in a more relaxed state, just not taking those problems or issues or whatever it is that happened or what you're thinking about to bed with you. Journaling in general is a great, great habit to implement into your daily routine because, it just helps you process things. It helps you process your emotions or whatever it is that's going on in your life so you can get it out instead of just holding on to it. There's different ways to work through anything that's going on in your life because ultimately, if you just stuff it down, it's still going to be there. Now, it may come out in your eating habits. It may come out in anger. It might come out in drinking or drugs or whatever your choice is, for you to cope. So being able to get it out like that, being able to meditate, being able to work out, all those things, will greatly help you process your emotions. And also we're talking about meditation, yoga. Yoga is phenomenal. And there's different kinds of yoga. You could just do some gentle stretches. You could just do a vinyasa practice earlier in the day. There's just so many options and it's just so great. You could just do some quick practice, even if it's something small, right next to your bed before you get into bed. Let me just get my body all stretched out. Let's get all these little kinks out. I'm just feeling good. Let me just end with some downward dog for the day. Just let it go. Just let it go. And when you're doing all this, trying not to can you turn the clock away from you so that you don't kind of like glance over it? Like, how much more sleep do I have? Just kind of turning it away. I have an automatic alarm clock. So I have a 5-year-old. So he is on point with waking me up. Sometimes I feel like he's the one with the job. Kids like that. So lovable. Just being mindful of your clock, per se. Just kind of turning it away you could turn away. You still can have your alarm set if you need to wake up at a certain time, of course. Just so not that you don't have that light kind of staring at you in face. Just, you might roll over to the side and kind of glance at it or something like that. Just taking that out of your mind's eye. And also, if you're going to do the meditation where you write anger out or write stress out, don't do that immediately before you go to bed. Maybe do that before that hour, just so you could get it out, just so that's not like fresh on your mind before you go to bed. But maybe you could do like a regular meditation, like a more relaxing meditation if you want to do one right before you go to bed. But the one where you just write out all your feelings and things of that nature, try doing that one a little bit earlier in the day, or I don't know, hour or two before you go to bed, just so it's not fresh on your mind, but doing one more relaxing before bed. So you make that a part of your routine. You could do some gentle stretches. You could do a meditation, get some yoga in there, do that all together. So I hope these tips helped you. And also, ideally, whenever you do wake up, try not to immediately run to your phone. Give yourself some time. Give yourself a good 30 minutes, a good 40 minutes to just be with yourself, be with your family, or, just get your mind together. Set your intention for the day. Look out the window, whatever it is, just find that peace to start your day with. You can start the day also with the meditation, just get you on the right foot, the right mood. You can start with a visualization meditation. Just be like, this is what I want to do with my day. This is how I'm going to set my intentions for today. The phone will be all right. The emails will still be there. The text will still be there. The phone calls are going to be there. Unless, of course, you have to do it for some reason. But just out of habit, ever be in the habit, I'm going to just check my social right quick. You good. They can wait 30 minutes, okay? They can. So just giving yourself that time, because it is about you. And it's so important to take care of our health, right? And sleep's a big part of that. So let's see, we talked about yoga, doing some stretches, meditations, turning down off all your electronics, just nothing overly stimulating before you go to bed, like the news or like a heavy conversation. Like try that a little bit earlier in the day, just so you could start winding down, so your nervous system can start being in a more relaxing state. Chamomile tea, trying not to eat like 3 hours before you go to bed, so your body can be nice and digested. And there's regular meditation. Then we also talked about the meditation where you might write for 20 minutes, listen to the music for 20 minutes, and journaling. And if you're looking for a new journal, you're more than welcome to go to the link below, Clarissa Booker /journals. And also, I would love to know if you do implement these practices, how they make you feel, if you're getting better sleep. Just let me know if you have any questions about anything. And feel free to come over to the Facebook group. The link is below, bit.ly/wellbeing group. And you can just click on it down below and come on over. There's also lives that are there, and just join discussions and ask any questions. All right? Until next time.
If you like my mommy show, leave her a review. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for coming by. And if you enjoyed the show, I would love for you to head over to iTunes, subscribe, share, and leave a written review at Miracles and Wellness. I would love to know your thoughts and what you would like for me to talk about next. Also, let's connect on Instagram at Clarissa D. Booker. Until next time, love and light.